here's how my day starts. Pitch black, I got about half an hour to go, and this little cut line that I discovered leads to a great place where the whole pile of elk and deer sign. Frosty. That was cold. I got up 5 o'clock. Drove an hour. Wow. Yeah, I drove 45 minutes. Unloaded the quad. And then I just quadded another 40 something minutes. And now it's pretty early. I got another 2 kilometers to go, and then I shut the quad off. And then I'm going to hike from there for another probably 20 minutes, as hard as I can through the timber. The best I could see anyway, to get to all these major serious game trails that I found the other day. So today's probably the day. And what you do when you normally aren't familiar with an area like I am here, you just put on the miles and put on the miles and put on the miles, and you keep going, and check every single trail, cut, road. Look everywhere you can, looking for the main game trails, main feeding areas where everybody might be hanging out. And then you start putting the puzzle together, and then you start slowing down, and then you figure out where it is you should be for first light and sit and wait for most of the day, which I finally figured that out yesterday. Took about a week, except I did have some very, very good luck and a great time with my new friends that own Venator Ranches. Christoph and his family are amazing people. I like collecting cool people. They're few and far between these days, it seems, but they're very, very cool people. Homeschool children, very, very intelligent, confident, bright children. And they've seen a lot, done a lot, traveled the planet, and great people. And I'm going to actually grab some of their organically, what do you call it? Whatever. It's the most healthiest game meat going. They raise bison to sell to people. It's very healthy. I'm going to grab a whole bunch on the way home and go see them again before I get out of here. But I got a few days left. But I have a feeling 2 days is going to be my day. And then I didn't get a chance to share a lot of the people's voices yesterday, so I'll make up for that today after I finish babbling here. I got to get going in the dark and see if what I have learned is correct. That was a cold quad ride. Whew. All right, I'll be back shortly. Here I go that way. Lots of people ask me why I don't get freaked out or how the hell can I do this by myself, but I don't know. You go with your instincts. If it feels bad, you don't do it. Like I always say, if I can't do this, I might as well jump off a cliff. What am I going to do? Golf? Become a gamer? It's the real world. Got to spend as much time in the real world as we can before this ride's up. I hiked way off. It was far as I'm going to go hiking, and I'm quite a ways away from where I'm actually hunting. And I want to wait for a bit, and hopefully this light snow is going to get everything moving, and then I'm going to work my way back for a few hours to see how it goes. It's funny, I was hiking out yesterday, just as getting dark, and I wasn't being very stealthy, like moving fairly noisy, and all of a sudden, just to my right, I caught something huge and dark brown, and it's one of those rare moments you get where you go, you know, it's what a lot of people call the pucker moment. It's definitely a pucker moment, because when you're moving along that noisy, you rarely see anything. So I immediately just caught it. It was the exact same color as those big grizzlies that are running around here. I thought it was one of those bears standing looking at me. It's only about 20 yards, but it's two big bull bison. I don't know if they could be wild or they could be strays from down the valley. But anyway, we got another email from our contact who claims to have a lot of knowledge, and I believe he does. And I'm going to read this one to you guys right now, all right? Maybe even another one. Listen to this. My medical procedures have been delayed due to all the COVID-19 BS. It seems the system's broken now. Broken. Now, before you folks go off and decide on what everyone is dealing with, I would like to add more to your pile of information. Just before I get more into this, I'd like to accept your very kind offer to meet perhaps a bit of fishing in the spring with you if the offer's still open. You can spend the day asking as many questions as you want and decide for yourself if my integrity is solid. It's the only way. If you want, you can ask one more person you trust to join us. Keep in mind this cannot happen until I'm fit again. I'd like to know, I would think, from what I've been told, around May, June. Okay, here it goes. For a long time, we thought that perhaps Sasquatch was from a different place, travel back and forth at will. That is not the main thought now. There are 3 reasons for this conclusion. After we were able to get fresh samples of DNA and realize the makeup is the same as most other organisms on Earth, they must be indigenous to our planet. The second reason is over 95% pure match to man. Wow, that is a big one. The third reason, and perhaps most compelling, we have examples of their females with their young all over the continent. Remember I suggested to you that the truth may be stronger than fiction? We'll sit down for this one. 2 skeletal remains were found, not totally intact, but there is no doubt what they found. The first one was in a cave formation in the late 80s. The second only 15 years ago in a high rock formation near the top of an American mountain. That's all I can give you for now. Have you ever heard of the phrase, a person is smart, a group of people not so much? It is so damn true. The global scientific community are without a doubt their own worst enemy. Each flavor of the sciences has their own specific rules on what is right and wrong. Anyone who is a professor or PhD knows not to stray from the path. Otherwise, your said PhD will be worthless. This way of thinking permeates the entire world population. Most of the population is exposed to conditioning every day of our lives through the medium of TV, computer, radio signals, and so on. You once asked me, why? Easy answer, to control the masses. Okay, back to our topic. Here's where the narrative really goes off the tracks. I'm still not sure if I fully believe this myself. One bone pile was dated about 25,000 years ago, and the other even older. Just let that sink in for a bit. Up comes another reason to keep it quiet. The timeline does not fit with the approved narrative of the sciences, never mind our religions. Can you imagine a serious shakeup with modern society? No world body wants anything to do with that. The only reason I think it is true is when I was stationed in the BC interior, I did get a call to go clean up a potential issue. Oh, I went up to the Pine Pass. I already read this. Damn. That sucks. That's been a long week. Or maybe I didn't read this. I don't think I did. All right, I'm going to keep going. Sorry. I used to know the elevation, but it was so long ago, too old. A rock slide had occurred due to all the rain we had been getting. When I found what I was looking for, there were 3 slabs of rock with 5 footprints in the rock. 2 of the slabs were too big for me to move, but I did take the small one that had one perfectly preserved human footprint in it. When I turned in my report, they sent the right people and equipment up the next morning. You see, the biggest part of our job is to get rid of any evidence. We're not trying to exterminate them, just hide them. I held off mentioning the one print I had and asked 3 different universities if they wanted the item. They all refused because it did not fit the daily narrative. We are like sheep. Your goat buddy is somewhat smarter than the masses. I did take a picture of the print in the solid rock. The footprint is of a youngster, but the rock that used to be a beach was 130 to 160 million years old. If I could find the picture, I'll send it to you just for the hell of it. By the way, they eventually came and got the footprint. No loose ends. Well, I think that's enough for tonight. Getting tired again. You take care and keep up the great work you do. A.W. Thank you, A.W. Looking forward to hearing more from you, man. There you go. There is more for all of you to take from what you will or leave it. But I don't know where else we're going to get straight up information. Do you? Besides the people? It's crazy. What do we got? There's got to be something else in here I can read. This is my old phone once again. I don't want to read doubles. Try not to. All right, what's this? Hello, Steve. I'll try to keep this story as short as I can. I grew up in Alabama on my family's 64 acres of land. It's been in our family for 3 generations. We are outdoorsmen. That's always hunted our land for food on the table. It's how we live. My grandfather always told us to stay out of the hollow past the rock quarry. Don't hunt there or you will die. The hairy man won't come out of there unless you F up and go there. My grandpa never bullshit anyone at any time. I'm 59. I spend most days in the woods. It's part of me. I've seen these beings through my scope and even up close one evening. I was on top of the mountain one evening before it started to get dark. I saw the hairy man walking into their cave with a large buck on his shoulder. 2 grown men would have trouble carrying this huge Bama buck. This giant had no problem with it at all. The daddy of this family is over 7 feet tall and weighs over 400 pounds. It seems like a shit story, but on my kid's life, it's true. My daddy told me not to go there, and I've told my sons not to go there. It's the only way for us to stay alive on our land. They've got about 10 acres, and we've got the rest. My grandpa told me they were long before he was born. These effers are not apes. They are people that have been in hiding for hundreds of years. Only one of us have gone in there. It was my grandpa's brother, and he was ripped to pieces and left in a tree for them to find. My grandpa told me about it when I was a kid. It's not just a bullshit story to scare the kids. It's a true story that we take very serious. I've got grandkids who watch your channel. They ask you do not use my full name. Their friends wouldn't believe it, and kids are so cruel to each other. So thank you for listening to my story, my friend. I will send you another one soon that happened to my 2 brothers. Keep up the good work and tell our stories. More people need to know what is going on. Thanks again. Thank you for writing in, man. Absolutely appreciate it. It's quite the story. But you know what? It's not a first time we've heard something similar, right? But anyway, it's kind of funny when you're in the middle of nowhere and hear a jet going over above like that. I always just picture the stewardess up there all clean and passing out the snacks and drinks, and everybody sitting in a comfy heated seat down here in the middle of nowhere. It would take a couple hours hike and an hour and a half drive just to go get somewhere warm again. But anyway, listen now, it's 10:30 in the morning. Typically big bucks get taken between 10 and 2 this time of year. So maybe I'll see if there's another one in here, and then I'm going to carry on with what I'm here to do. What do we got? All right, I think that phone's still working. Hey, Steve, I hope you and the missus are doing well, staying safe and healthy. We are, and thank you so much. I hope the same for you. I've been watching your videos as well as Scott Carpenter's and of course David Politis. I know that I asked you not to use my name when reading my previous emails, but I've changed my mind. Not that you need or want to now anyway. I feel that because so many people have had the courage to come forward and be okay with using their name and with the stories, that it's time that I did the same. So feel free to use my name, my buddy. Even with my previous stories, we're all in this together. Here's another story for you. Sorry for the length. The last year I went to Seashell. It was 2007. We didn't camp at the site where I had my sighting, but we went back because we wanted to see the place again. Looking at Google Maps now, it looks like the area has become an industrial park of sorts. When I was there in 2007 with Robert, the access road for the pump station was blocked off by a 6-foot pile of dirt and rocks right at the entrance. I had a Land Rover back then and had no problem trailblazing through the thick brush around it. We carried on down the road. When we were approaching the clearing we had camped in, about 75 meters away, a turkey vulture that was, oh, I'm sorry, I read that one. Yeah, read that one. Sorry, you guys. It's not easy when you're out here. Trust me. It's not easy. We'll have to go back. Maybe this evening I'll go through these and see what we might have. These seem to be all red, but they're not marked as red. That kind of is unfortunate. All right, here's a short one. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to read it, and then we're going to close off, and I'm going to keep going. It's getting chilly, this wind. My wife and my 80-year-old mother was up a remote wilderness area in Washington State. The encounter was brief, however, changed my life forever. I worked for the state as a DNR warden. I patrolled this remote area for 22 years and have never encountered anything like this. We were overlooked a rock bluff near a major river system. My wife was the first to spot the creature. She pointed and said, "Look, a bear." The creature was on his knees, crouched over at first. It looked like a big, hairy tree stump. As soon as my wife spoke loudly, it stood up and was standing in the timber on a steep, rocky slope. It stared right at us. I grabbed my 1.5 megapixel phone and took 2 pictures, one facing me, and then it turns its back when I took the second photo. We were about 70 meters from it, yards. I yelled to my wife to put Mom in the car as I ran towards the edge of the rocky slope, wanting to get other pictures. Then I noticed it wasn't alone. The smaller one was directly to its right side. They moved very fast and disappeared quickly downslope in the huge rocks towards the river. The creature was over 8 feet tall, massive, muscle, and I would guess in the 800-pound range. The smaller one was about 1.5 feet shorter, thinner built. I only got a picture of the larger one. It's blurry. However, you can see it's not a bear. I went back the next day with my 375 H&H and a better camera and found nothing. Now when I'm in the woods with my family, I carry a high-powered rifle. I'll never shoot one unless it's aggressive. I would hate to encounter that. This creature was huge and looked massive. All right, and no photos to accompany that. I don't even know who wrote that in. So if you are the person who sent that in to me, and you just heard me read it, hit us up with the pictures. I'm sure the crowd's going to be going bonkers right now. Here comes some oil field equipment working up the valley behind me. What else? A good man from Northern California, ex-game warden, law officer. He sent the video of the thing covering the camera with the leaves, and I asked him if they could go recreate the video that he sent me of the Sasquatch in the river with somebody standing up there and videotape back where, and they agreed they will. They're going to do that, which is great news. But he also said that it'll be tough to recognize the area because the wildfires ripped through there. But it doesn't matter. We'll still see the riverbed and the person standing up there and where they videotaped from to give a comparison of that thing that they videotaped in broad daylight. And after, emailing back and forth with this gentleman, I believe he's a true, solid, good man and very legitimate, and what they videotaped is very real. And they videotaped a Sasquatch in a river in broad daylight. And he chose all of us to share that video with for the first time because he said, quote, "I've been waiting to find a no bullshit place to share everything." And that's all of us. All right, I gotta get moving. Hope everybody's safe and well. And I'll be back shortly.